Greetings, chess lovers. In today's puzzle, it is white to play and win, but how? As it has three minor pieces, two knights, one, two, and one bishop, and black king has this mighty queen, so things don't look going your way. So what you're going to do? If you thought about maybe bringing your knight here on d5 and giving a check, that was going to be a blunder. So apparently all your pieces seem to be out of function, but are they really? So let me show you the solution first. So the solution was simple. You sacrifice your bishop. Yes, now there were two ways. Either the queen was going to capture it or the king was going to capture it. It was better if the queen was going to capture it, but there was no point. We would have given a check that was also a fork. And when the king had come here, we had simply grabbed the queen and then we had lost the knight. But it would have kept the black king close to the pawns while we had maintained one whole minor piece. But in the other situation, if the king had taken the piece himself, like king had captured it, now this time we had given the check with this knight, and then if the king had come here, we had simply grabbed it, and once the king had captured the knight, then we would have won it convincingly, because as you can see, king is far away, and then it is going to be a matter of time that we are simply going to promote the pawn into queen. So it was an absolutely brilliant solution. Alright, so now in the variations, let's take a look that if you had played your knight to d5, it would have been a blunder, because after that the king would have simply come down onto f5, and after that there were four ways in which this could have continued. So let's say if you had captured this, so after that there was going to be immediate material loss. As you can see, after this queen was going to capture this one, and even if the knight would have returned here in the hope of capturing this one, there would have been a check, and then king would have gone here. Then we now bring our king in the hope of placing this position where queen is going to give the check, but white is trying to push the pawn, but we are simply going to ignore this one. And now as you can see, king will have to go down and we are simply going to come into the position. Now this bishop is going to come into play and our king is going to capture this knight, and after that bishop is going to once again try to clear the path, and then when we are going to push our king to d6, it would simply try to support the other pawn. So now this is a well defended position for white, but not for so long, because then we are going to make our king come to d7, and even if he's going to push this pawn on b6 to b7, then we are simply going to start giving checks, and then these checks are going to force the king to come downwards. If we come downwards and then move up, and then we simply win this pawn. So once this pawn has been won, I guess it is pretty much easy, because this king is covering this one. So queen versus bishop is a lost game. So let's say after king had come on f5 and we had played this move knight to c3, so we would still have lost the knight, okay, and then bishop would have come closer, and then we would have brought the queen, and now you can see we can once again give the checks, and then we are going to win the bishop. Now as you can see, bishop is safely placed on h6, but not for so long. We are going to give a check, and then when the king is going to come onto the only available square, then we are simply going to give it another check, and then we are going to win it. And let's say if king had come on to f5, so then you had moved your knight to f3, then we would have started winning the pawns. As you can see, first we would have given a check, and then first the knight would have been captured. After that, with this check, we are going to start winning the pawns. And let's say if you had played knight to d3, it would have been even a quicker loss. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel.